What's happening, AJ?
291 days until Halloween.
That is too many days until Halloween.
It's right around the corner.
I think we should separate every year into 3 equal parts. We should have 3 years within each year, and so that it is never more than a double-digit number away. Is that how that would work?
So we'd have 3 Halloweens.
Exactly. Yeah. And everyone gets 3 birthdays too. So like for all the non-Halloween fans out there, don't worry, we're taking care of you guys too.
Yeah, got you in mind. Got you covered.
Yeah. AJ, my water's brown, and I really fucking hope it's because I was using the same mug for water as I was for coffee. I hope it's. I hope I just didn't like rinse it out, and I was just like, oh, I gotta hurry up and fill up my water before. And then I was like, oh, right, there was coffee in here, so I just hope it's brown water coffee and not just brown other stuff coffee.
You know what they say.
Uh oh. What do they say?
They say if it's brown, drink it down.
That is what they say. Perfect. Well, I'm going to drink it down and while we get the show on the road here. So wish me luck, you guys. Let's go.
Oh, man. Good health.
Good health. Clink. This is PSVR GameScast Live. We've been what do you like? This is the worst.
I hit my hand really hard. Sorry. I might be bleeding a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You want to show the camera? Show the camera your boo boo.
I'm good. I'm good. No, let's do this. Right. This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film every Monday, Wednesday, and 2Ys Friday. And Brian knows the rest of this intro.
God only knows. Right here on YouTube, we do it live, 6 p.m. Eastern, for your viewing pleasure, but we also care about your, what is it, AJ? What is it?
Audible pleasure?
Oh my God, go suck my dick. I'll show you oral pleasure. That's why our friend Wrap Up puts us up on podcast services of your choice. I apologize for my absence lately. Oh my God, dude. What a fucking week. I've been sick and I've been tired. I've been in bed, that bed over there. You can't see it, but I can. I promise you it's there. Like 5 days straight. And honestly, I think it should have been 6 today. Not doing great today either. However, we have so much to talk about, and I didn't want to let another day go by. And with me today, as he's here every Monday, is my good friend AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Monday. And I know that Mondays usually suck. Yes, it's true. But we are here to ensure, Brian, their Monday sucks. Just a little bit less.
Excellent. I'm very happy to hear that, because my Monday could certainly use a little less sucking. That sounds weird. It's like, what is Brian doing over there all day, every day? It's a little crazy. We're concerned about him. It's just lots of... That's all we hear through the door when we come to visit. It's just... lots of sucking.
Terrible noises.
Bro, somebody put me out of my misery.
I hate that these headphones are on my ears right now.
Wonderful. Israel says, AJ, why are you sitting in the dark? And it is funny. Like at some point over the course of the last couple months, you went from being extremely well lit to being just nothing.
And guess what I changed?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. There, is that better?
It's like war. What is it good for, AJ?
Is that better? Are you guys happy now?
War is also good
for sun.
Contrast.
It's so bright.
I'm so glad I turned you up. The sun.
The sun.
AJ, what have you been up to, man? This is going to be one fucking laid back
podcast. Oh man, I had a wonderful weekend, Brian. I'd ask you how yours was, but I do not dare go there again because Because last time I asked you how stuff went, it didn't turn out so well. No, dude, I had a great weekend. We finally got snow in Atlanta for the first time in like 5 years or so,
Whoa.
6 years. It had been a long time. So
It's been a
like
while.
everybody was out going wild, dude. Like there was like go-karts pulling sleds down the street. Everybody was, sliding down the hills,
People
building
were
snowmen.
building snowmen.
There were people like snowboarding and skiing in Piedmont Park with like ramps and shit. It was
You were
pretty
driving by
hardcore.
yelling, "Cool borders,
Yes,
wet,
the
systems."
And then of course, I had to get in on the action as well, and I made
Hold on. Full screen coming.
I made a snowwalla, Brian.
Oh.
A snowwalla. Behold,
Oh.
its mighty glory.
Who knew you were capable of creating something so cute? I was like, you know what? A little concerned
gotta
about
send you
like
the
if you ever have kids, like what's that gonna look like? But at least your snowman creations are fucking adorable.
I did it in like 15 minutes. And the initial reaction that I got when I showed Julia was so positive that I literally like emailed it to like everybody at work and everyone, and like I've been texting it to people. I should have texted it to you, actually. I will text it to you. But no, dude,
But I'm here now.
I beat 2 PSVR2 games this weekend, 2.5, because I got halfway through another one.
Wait. You can't say I beat 2.5 games.
Yeah, you can.
You can't half beat something. You
I
can get
just
halfway
did.
through something.
Yeah.
You get halfway. Okay, go ahead. Whatever. I'm not going to fight this. I'm too tired.
So I finally went back and beat Behemoth. Because as we know, at launch, there was a bug that was preventing me from being able to beat it. So I went back and I finally beat it.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wish I waited a little longer.
Still problems. Huh?
Yeah, it was kind of, honestly, the final boss was kind of weak, and I was a little disappointed, and I think there was something wrong with it. I think that there were some problems with it that they're probably going to be patching at some point. So if you get to the end of Behemoth, just stop and then wait till the next patch. But I do love that game overall. I also tried out the arena mode for the first time, and it's set up a little bit like the Saints and Sinners. What's it called? The meat grinder update, the trials. It's set up a little bit like that, and I don't know like how much. Like I think it'd get boring kind of fast because it's just waves of enemies coming at you.
And only one arena right now. Like that's but they're working on it, man. It sounds like they're gonna like spend a lot of time on this stuff.
Yeah, it has potential though, and I do really enjoy the combat. The thing I liked about it was I was rusty, so I jumped in and did the arena first so that I could like remember how to play. And then I beat Arken Age, which we're gonna be talking about today, but only first impressions. Only first impressions. No spoilers. No, nothing beyond the very start of the game. Yeah. And then we got review keys. This was a great way to cap off my snowtastic weekend. Mm-hmm. Not only did it snow for the first time in years, and I got to enjoy that and see other people enjoy it, but then we got our keys for 90s extreme skiing, and
which we also can't talk much about.
Yes, we can mention that we received keys for it, review keys, but we cannot talk about that yet.
Right.
So other than that, I did a bunch of other things, but I was proud of myself and for getting through all these games this weekend.
Congratulations. You must feel so accomplished. Your PC misses you.
I feel pretty good. My PC does miss me, but I'm going to give it some love soon, so it'll be fine.
Okay, that's good to hear. I will say being in bed is a great place to be for playing retro games. And so I played about 1,000 different retro games. But I watched a relatively new movie called Heretic, in one of those A24 movies. This is what's his name? What's his name from the '90s that everyone liked? Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend in the '90s was like in love with Hugh Grant, and I was like, "Look at him now. How do you feel about him now?"
I don't know if I've seen a single movie with him in it.
Yeah, it was a bunch of like romantic comedies and stuff like that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It was only stuff that I only saw in stuff that like she made me watch. Things like Four Weddings and a Funeral or Notting Hill and stuff like that. Um, this is the best role I've seen him in because he definitely plays a somewhat dark, kind of twisted character. You get the idea of that from the trailer. Yeah, a couple of Mormons show up at a dude's house and try to teach him about the church and Jesus and all sorts of great stuff. And antics ensue. AJ, antics ensue. It was good. It was good. It's strangely, it wasn't the kind of movie I want to watch more than once. It doesn't have that kind of appeal to it, but just like satisfying your curiosity, almost like Barbarian, right? In a sense, where it was like, I liked Barbarian a lot, but once you know what happens, you're like, the first half of the Barbarian is kind of useless now. You're like, they set up all the suspense, but then when you know what happens, like, okay, I'm good. That's how I felt anyway. Barbarian was good. Yeah. Oh, Mark Pringlesleaf in the chat agrees with me. Brian, I thought it was a brilliant film. Excellent. I'm not alone. Nihilist Ryan, the game feline with the $5 tip, says something in the wind tells me this is PSVR 2's year. I mean, listen, it could be PSVR 2's year. The PSVR 2 could have 3 stellar years in a row, right? Right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Why not?
Good.
I think it seems like it's getting better and better.
What I'm trying to say is last year was also PSVR 2's year. And the year before was also PSVR 2's year. This is just another year for PSVR 2. We love it so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yes. Thank you, AJ.
Totally forgot those.
I'm dude, like, yeah, I'm glad you said that because this was like definitely one of the things I wanted to talk about. AJ and I are having a conversation without you guys. we're just typing back and forth to each other behind the scenes. Yeah, that would be even better.
I was doing it telepathically.
Yeah, that would have been even better. We got a bunch of shit to talk about today. Why don't we kick it off with a viewer takeover question, then we'll get to some news. AJ, what viewer takeover question do we have on the docket today?
We have from Pete Neon. I like that name. Says hashtag viewer takeover like a pro. In the run up to the Arken Age launch, the team seemed to be doing a brilliant job on marketing and launching their game. It really shows a sense of confidence in what they have produced. Why do larger, presumably better funded devs find this so difficult to do? Pete Neon, calling people out.
I mean, there's a bunch of reasons, I think. And okay, so first of all, number one, most important thing that Pete Neon pointed out was that they're doing a great job with marketing. And I hope that's true. I really do. Like, I don't, outside of our community and like the PSVR subreddit, I hope that that's true because even though there was the reveal trailer on the PlayStation YouTube channel, the official YouTube channel, and I don't think it got a blog post, but you figure when PlayStation posts something on their channel, it gets noticed. But yet I've done 2 breaking news reports on it. I've included it in PSVR This Week numerous times. We've talked about it in terms of our upcoming, the hype we have for upcoming 2025 games. And in every single time we bring it up, there's always at least one person, if not more, that says, what the fuck is Arken Age? I've never heard of Arken Age. This is my first time seeing Arken Age. And it was like, well, how did this get by you so many times? Right. And it's like, totally cool if like, hey, I just bought a PSVR 2 headset and I don't know all the games that are coming out. That's one thing. That's a completely different thing. But that doesn't seem like the case. It seems like people are like, generally have their finger on the pulse and still haven't heard of this game. So before we even answer his question, AJ, do you think that they have done a good enough job, or that people are aware of Arken Age's impending release?
I think they've done what they can do. I think personally I'd like to see a lot more. And this is why, because within our community, like you said, everybody knows what Arken Age is. Within smaller VR communities here and there, yeah, people know what Arken Age is. Here's the thing though. Like taking an example of like people at my work, like they have a Quest 2 and they don't even know what it's called. So most people don't really know anything about VR, other than the ones that have finally taken the plunge, maybe some that are like thinking about it. And yeah, I'd like to see, I think when it comes to like marketing stuff, like, yeah, like there needs to be, it needs to be shouted from the top of a mountain. It needs to be burned into people like over and over. And so like it needs all the help it can get. So I do think providing content creators with early access to the game, as well as doing like an early preview, I think that's good. But really, I think it needs and potentially deserves like way more, like like a state of play. State of play being on there or something, that's like I think the minimum that I think is like really exceptional marketing. The minimum is a state of play, a PS blog post, Twitter, whatever, getting some things. So no, I think they've done what they can do, because obviously they're a smaller team. They probably don't have like a huge marketing budget or influence, things like that. But I think it was smart to lean on content creators here, because most people trust content creators over these professional outlets these days, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Blake had come to me and asking me like about what I thought of a first impression embargo, and I said normally I'd be like no, because so many people in our community have told me, they're like when I see when I see a video telling me, hey, you should definitely buy this game, or a video extolling the virtues of how great something is, they want to go buy it. Then they don't want to wait a week or whatever, or 2 weeks to be able to play it, and like by then the hype can wear off, and they're on to something else. Like what's new, what's the next thing I'm getting hyped for, what's the next video that these content creators are making videos about. But in the case of Arken Age, like I said, I keep seeing them over and over. It's ridiculous that people don't know what this game is. So I told him, I was like, you should definitely go for it. And then I ended up getting sick, and
it was the right thing to say, Brian. It was the right thing to do. Because
even if I couldn't benefit from it.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, like VR games, especially ones that aren't tied to an existing IP or anything like that, like they need as much exposure as possible. Otherwise, people aren't just going to know. Like I said, people at my work, like there's people that don't even know what a Quest is, or they don't even know what VR is. So, for being such a smaller group, like, like you got to make noise. You got to make as much noise as humanly possible for VR.
Yeah, especially for a small studio like this. Vitruvius was a studio of 2 that grew over the last few years to a studio of 4, and they're making a game that is a brand new IP. This is not Metro VR. This is not Alien VR. This is not something people are going to recognize. And it's not, even when you say Vitruvius, people are like, who are they again? Right? They don't have quite the cachet that somebody like that Behemoth does with Skydance. So anyway, I think you're right. I think they're doing the absolute best as they can. I hope it pays off. And why do bigger studios have such a problem with this? AJ, my guess is that because they're such a small studio, they have a lot more control over when they do things. As far as I know, most of this game was basically ready in November, but they were looking for the right place to launch the game. And they said, listen, we're not going to fight with all these, big titles in November and December. We're going to carve out a nice little spot for ourselves in January. And then that'll give our reviewers and everybody who gets a review key, making first impression videos, enough time to play it at their leisure, casually. And then we also know, like, they're not sending out a game that they're still fixing, that they're still patching, right? They are sending out a complete game because they care more about the release date. They have that flexibility as a small team, right? Bigger teams are like beholden to investors and, like 100-person dev team, and they got to pay the bills. So they got to get this game out as fast as possible. These guys are like, Shadow Legends been paying the bills. We'll push this thing out, like, when it's fucking ready. And I feel like that's why they've been able to do a better job than some of the bigger studios, because they've been working on this thing for 5 years, and they weren't going to put it out till it was ready. And so that because they weren't beholden to anybody, they could do it however they wanted to.
Yeah, which is smart too. Getting out of November, December, that was a smart move because it was really crowded.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh man, December ended up being crazy crowded, and it wasn't as crowded as it was supposed to be either, which is nuts. Yeah, but hopefully, hopefully in the future we will see more studios take this approach and be able to finish their games and give people enough time to play them and make videos on them, and not rush a buggy product.
Yeah, and VR games, they spread a lot by word of mouth as well. So if it ends up being, really, really good, then people will tell other people and it'll spread and spread and spread. But yeah, if I were a VR developer, I would use every last resource I had. I would spare nothing. I don't care if you have 100 subscribers, like I'm giving it a key to that person. Because you just need all the help you can get.
Yeah, I agree. If that channel with 100 subscribers sells 1 copy or 2 copies, yeah. At the very least, you broke even. AJ, it's Monday. I keep forgetting about this, but we do usually kick off the show in a very specific way on a Monday, right? We all these people out here, they know we love them. We thank them incessantly for everything they do for us. But every Monday, we like to thank a different group, don't we?
That's right, Brian. We like to thank another group of people that go to. God damn! Oh my goodness!
It's been a while.
It has been a while, Brian, and I forgot what I say here. We'd like to thank those who support us by changing their name to something GameCat related, or something GameCat adjacent, Brian, and GameCat adjacent, Hugo. And this week, we have one new GameCat to welcome to the GameCat Dojo. Just one, but a very special one. Because it's Bimmy, the Dargon Cat.
Bing! Oh, I get it. It's like Bimmy and Jimmy Bimmy from Double Dragon. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah? You think I'm on something? Sirens on my end. I mean, it's Bimmy the Dragon Cat, right? It's not, oh my God, there's a lot of sirens on my end. What are you doing? Excuse me, sir. Trying to do a show here. Yeah, it's Bimmy the Dragon Cat. It's gotta be. It's Bimmy and Dragon. It's 2 references to Double Dragon. It's great. I love it. And also shout out to Bimmy because we haven't done a GameCat name change in like 4 weeks. And because we didn't do a show for a couple weeks, and then we just didn't do it when we came back last week because we were scatterbrained. And so thank you, Bimmy, for being patient with us. Remember, guys, if you change your name to GameCat, just like Bimmy did, change your name over on Google or YouTube, whatever makes it pop up on YouTube, and leave a comment under any Without Parole video with the hashtag GameCat. That's it. Hashtag GameCat. Did it used to be something else? Just hashtag? That was the hashtag?
No, it was always hashtag GameCat.
Okay. Because everyone does everything but that. And so it's like hashtag name change. Hashtag army. Okay, whatever. We got you. Thanks, Bimmy. Excuse me. Uh, oh my god, dude. The fever is not gone. Like it's getting really hot in here, and it's freezing out. So, yeah. Oh my goodness.
What's the best Double Dragon game?
What's the best Double Dragon game?
Yeah.
The one with Battletoads. Is that
Battletoads and Double Dragon? Which version? NES or SNES?
Oh my god. I don't really know. I
You're
don't
like,
listen. Okay.
Genesis poser.
Here's my embarrassing story. And that's
Uh-oh.
that I've never really liked a Double Dragon game.
Ooh,
right?
that is pretty embarrassing.
Right? Like I thought that they were like not that good and and a little bit clunky on the NES. And then shortly after I was playing Streets of Rage, like 1, 2, and 3 on Sega Genesis, and those games were awesome. And so so I wasn't going back to the NES ones, and I feel like, Double Dragon never evolved as quickly as Streets of Rage and like Final Fight. There was like 3 Final Fight games on Super Nintendo. Dude, there's so many great brawlers out there that like I think it's easy to skip out on the Double Dragon series, especially these days, right? If like you're not going through them chronologically. But
Steve Irie, Null Zero, and Scott the PSVR Game Cap for life have the correct answer. The correct answer, Brian, is
5?
Double Dragon 2.
5?
2.
The one-on-one beat 'em up on that I played on Atari Jaguar, Double Dragon 5, 2, huh? Okay. I just played the Rosetta Stone. That's a Double Dragon game, and that's horrible.
I saw that they were rebooting Double Dragon as well.
Oh yeah.
I think that was at the Game Awards or something.
Oh, is it going to be like one of those like NC
like
creates?
rebooting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still going to do. Is it going to be like a retro styled like 16-bit?
I don't know. I think it was just a CGI trailer, like all the trailers shown there.
Oh yeah, what a waste. Great. Yeah, was Double Dragon 3 the Rosetta Stone shapeshifter? Because I thought it was, and it was bad. I mean, the arcade version, I was like not thrilled. Anyway.
See what you did, Bimmy. The Dargan cat.
Right. Double Darken.
He's like, my name's just Bimmy, guys. Shut up.
Right. Oh my God. Dude, that's funny because Double Dragon is old enough where people could literally be naming their children Bimmy as a joke in reference. Oh man. JPEG says with a $2 tip, Brian, have you ever played the C64 version of Double Dragon? Dude, I'm sure I did when I was a kid, and I'm sure it was great because everything on the C64 was better than it was anywhere else. But I haven't played it in forever, so I have to pull out the old emulator and check it out. I'm assuming you're giving it thumbs up, a little recommendation. I hope so. AJ, let's talk about Discovery 2. But first,
do we have to?
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit. For a while. Did you ever play Discovery on PSVR 1?
No. I think
Wait,
what was
really?
what was the whole controversy? Did it get removed? Not controversy, but I remember there was something that happened with that game, and I think it got removed from the store.
Yeah, well, I mean, hold on, is this Discovery? I don't know. I'm just fucking putting.
I remember it was like a Minecraft clone or something, which
Okay,
I'm also not into.
I'm showing this trailer. I have no idea what this trailer is from or whatever, but this is a very good looking version of Discovery. So I don't think this is the version we got on PSVR 1. The issue with Discovery on PSVR 1 was that they basically were promising a full on like Minecraft clone. This is before we got Minecraft VR on PSVR 1. And so we were just like, oh, sweet. If Microsoft's not going to give it to us, if Mojang's not going to give it to us, then, it's awesome that these guys are making a clone that we can play. And they did. It was decent. But they were saying, hey, like we're kind of launching into early access type thing. And they basically said, hey, we're giving you creative mode. And later we'll add a typical Minecraft survival mode. To my recollection, this is how it went down. And then they said that Sony wouldn't let them change the ESRB rating on the game. And by going from a creative mode that is cool for everyone, right? Definitely in a big old E rating, to something that has any kind of combat, I don't know. They're saying they had to change the ESRB rating, and then they were like, that's just too much work for us to like navigate to be able to add this other mode to it. And so everyone was like, all right, I guess we're not getting the thing you promised. I don't know if that was bullshit or not, and I don't even know if that was the real story. That's just what I remember. With Cube out there, do you think we need a Discovery? Because what's happening right now is that Discovery 2 got announced like very, very recently, and they said it's also coming to PSVR2. Now, AJ, the story goes deeper. Here, I'm going to play the trailer here. This is obviously a lot of mixed reality stuff going on here because it is launching on Quest first, and so they're focused on like this mixed reality stuff, and then they're going to have a PSVR2 build, and they're going to be talking about that more soon. AJ, it gets a little sketchy, a little bit confusing. I'm gonna bring everybody over to the Meta Store. Oops, did I do that right? No, I didn't, because we're all still sitting here. I'm gonna bring us over to the Meta Store and take a look at some of what's happening over there in terms of this game. Is it happening? Yes, it is.
Yeah, I watched the trailer, but it was like a mixed reality thing, and it was from like a bird's eye view. So I have no idea what's.
You didn't watch
the whole trailer?
Yeah,
I thought I did.
I got bored halfway through. Yeah,
I've done. Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, they've got this whole third. Like they're using a lot of the gimmicks, of the Quest, and they're saying, "Oh, look, hand tracking," and they're saying you can do it from like the. But I think they were trying to capitalize on that old HoloLens demonstration where they were playing Minecraft on a table, right? And so they go, oh, you can finally do that, right? But yeah, there is the first person mode, and there is the bird's eye view mode, and finger tracking looks like controller tracking. So it looks like they're trying to do a lot of everything here. But when we go over to the Quest store, it says explore a vast world made of blocks and shape it with your imagination. Build cozy houses, bustling villages, sprawling cities, monumental structures, or delve deep underground. Bring your creations to life with torches and intricate electric circuits, illuminating them under day and night cycles. And then it says some bullet points: creative sandbox experience, craft your own world, mixed reality tabletop mode, immersive first-person gameplay, a new engine, cross-play multiplayer, sounds good, an inking system, customized blocks with 16 vibrant colors to make your designs truly unique. But it never, AJ, for as much as developers said, again, to my recollection, that they couldn't make a survival mode because they'd have to change the ESRB rating.
Yeah.
Would that not be something you would include from the get-go if you were going into early access and making sure? Because here we are again. There is nothing about a survival mode here again, right? Which for a lot of people is fine. A lot of people are just going to want the creative mode. However, this was their big excuse for not including it the first time. You would think with a full-fledged sequel, right from the get-go, they'd say, hey, we're doing this, and we're not going to make the same mistakes that we did last time.
Yeah.
I just find it a little confusing.
Yeah, all people are going to do is ask for survival mode the entire time, because they do that for Cube as well.
Right. And rightfully so. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get more information about this soon enough. Again, this is in early access. Oh, Wes in the chat, what's up, Wes? Says rated T with blood and violence listed. So maybe they are doing this ahead of time and but simultaneously not making promises, and just kind of like seeing where development takes them. So hopefully they're thinking about this stuff. I did get in touch with the developer like right before the show, and we did not have a chance to talk. But the quick message they sent me like 5:58 was they said the last time they made a build of this for PSVR2 was more than a half year ago. And so they're concentrating on the Quest version now because the certification isn't that hard, and there's not that many problems. Should be easier to get it through Sony's certification process once they have the complete build. But they said they'll definitely have a lot more info soon. So I'm interested, man. I'm interested, especially if they're going to do the survival mode, and it would be cool not to just like rely on one developer, right? We're not getting Minecraft on PSVR 2. All signs point to that at least. And it would be nice to be like, oh, but we've got these other two amazing options with Discovery 2 and Cube. I think it'd be nice.
Sure.
You don't give a fuck.
No.
Okay.
It's not my kind of thing. Even if it's great, like it's not my thing.
Totally understandable. But it does look good. It does look good.
I remember like 2 people being interested in Discovery and saying it was good. And I think you were one of them.
I wasn't at all interested. I remember not being at all interested. And then I got in there and I spent like a whole night like building a little village with cool lighting.
That's the way it
like,
happens sometimes.
Nice little house. And, yeah. And I was like, you know what, this is, they weren't charging $30 for it, you know, like it wasn't even 20 if I remember correctly. I think it was like $12.99. And so, you know, you price a game correctly and you could have an audience. And I thought it was fun for what it was, but again, I personally need something more than creative mode. Like 12-year-old Bryan would have loved straight creative modes for everything. Right? I don't need any combat or any survival modes or nothing. Like all I wanted to do was like sit around and draw and make video games. That's all I did when I was 12. I don't know, man.
How's it already been 40 minutes? Have we been talking about this game for like 20 minutes?
Maybe.
What is happening?
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible.
Sorry, guys. We let you down today.
Cool. Well, then that's a perfect segue into Red Rover, the effing Gamecat, and his $2 tip. Excuse me.
Dargans.
My butt's double dargan. That's what he wrote. My butt's double dargan. I don't know. We're just gonna smile and nod and pretend like everything makes perfect sense.
I got
also,
it.
you know, else does make perfect sense. This Patreon scroll, dude, I don't think it's been updated since like November. I really apologize to new Patreon supporters and to people who like have left Patreon and been like, why the fuck's my name still there? Sorry, man. You're getting credit for shit you didn't do. So, Bambino in the chat says we talked about Double Dragon for 20 minutes.
Okay, I'll let that go then. I'll let that go.
Perfect. All right, man. Let's talk about some Arken Age. I think this is what everybody's here for. This is what I'm here for. This is what you're here for. Let's talk about it.
So I've already posted my impressions in a video.
Let's just watch yours then. We'll just watch it live.
Let's just throw the video on. No.
Okay.
But you know, nobody's heard your first impressions, and you know, like I said, I don't know how you want to completely approach this, Bryan. I meant to ask you this beforehand, but you know, obviously I've beaten the game now, but
me too.
I recall my first impressions, all of my thoughts. So I can easily just pretend like I haven't beaten it and talk about it as if I've only played it for the first hour and a half.
Yeah, and listen, I want to make sure that everybody's aware of this. It is actually something AJ and I were talking about before the show. It was so hard to, like, without going back into the game and replaying the first 90 minutes, capturing footage of what I want to. It was so hard to get the footage. Like, this is, basically what I grabbed here is stuff from, like, the first 90 minutes of gameplay. But I was terrible at combat then. I was terrible at, like, I didn't even know what the fuck half the shit in the game was at that point. And so I was just ignoring some of the stuff. And so I would be breaking embargo if I was to show you guys a lot of the stuff I learned later in the game that you can actually do earlier in the game or play with weapons.
They don't want spoilers. They don't want spoilers anyways.
Oh, no, absolutely. And that's why, like, you know, I tried to put together something that was a little bit better than the trailer you've already seen 100 times. And then AJ and I will just talk about everything else because I think you guys want to know how it plays, how it looks, how it feels, and some of the systems at play here. So that's what we're going to do. And right away, AJ, when we talk about first impressions, there is always the one thing that I bring up before anything else. And that's, what does the fucking company logo look like when it appears on screen before anything else, right? You hit the button, you hit X, and then you're just praying that, like, you're not looking at some, like, low
it's like,
res,
yeah,
right?
Aliasing and
Right, with like artifacts and shit. Like it's like they
Yeah.
plaster the like a low res JPEG up there, and you're like, oh no, I can already tell it's not high res. I can already tell it's, it's just, it looks terrible. Oh, are they not using? Listen, I want, when the Vitruvius VR logo pops up on the screen, you will know what I'm talking about when you play this. It is fucking crystal clear, and it is metallic, and it spins into view, and it is like the most.
It also
epic.
goes.
Exactly. It's the most epic company logo.
It's a great splash screen. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I do like when the first splash screen like looks great and is presented really well. Alien's splash screen also was really, really great. But we're talking about Arken Age here. But yeah, it right away it looks crystal clear and polished clear. And
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, and then I was going to say, well, then you're thrown into the main menu, and that's got some interesting things as well.
Yeah, are we going to talk about the main menu?
Like, this is the most first impressions.
Sure. Yeah.
You could possibly get.
Okay, listen. Yeah, if you want absolute first, I can barely remember when I was that young impressions. Then we could definitely go that far back, and we can talk about how they really want you. They want you to be able to play this game however the fuck you want to. Right? I was shocked to see that there was an option in the menu screen for, do you want your health to regenerate? Like, because, some first-person shooters and some games, like, your health auto-regenerates. And some, you have to, like, administer your own health or do this or whatever. And I was like, wait a minute, why are you asking me that? Isn't this something that you're supposed to decide, Vitruvius? Why are you letting me decide? And it was just one of the many things that I noticed when I was looking through the options, and said, they really do kind of want to please everybody. And what Wes and I said on Wednesday's show was, when you try to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. Somehow I think they found a way around that, right? Like, they just spent so much time in active development and saying, oh, people like this, but they also like this, and they like this, and they like that. Let's just give them that too. It's like, damn, somehow they tried to please everybody and succeeded. But yeah, did you have more than that from the menu?
Yeah, no, I did actually, because there's a lot. Dude, I sat in the menu for a long time.
All right, I'm
for many reasons and things that people are gonna want to know about as well. But yeah, I mean, just right away, like, it looks really good. You're in this kind of like, this weird place, and there's like, it just looks really cool around you. But then the first thing you see, of course, is your avatar, and you look down and you've got 3 fingers and reptilian skin, and you've got these tubes that are like, pulsing light, and then it just right away, it looks really good, and the music in the main menu is really, really nice. I loved it. Immediately I was like, yes, like, this is already on the right track. But yeah, man, over in the options, like you said, trying to please everybody, there's a lot of options in here, and some of them are blanked out. And basically the reason for that is, like, the PCVR and the PSVR2 version are very similar to each other. But they have stuff that's like, like anti-aliasing settings, how high are the graphics turned up, and all of that is basically locked to the max that it can possibly be. So it's very similar to the PC version settings wise, but PSVR2 on PS5 has one big advantage. Has 3 big advantages. Number 1, it can use the eye tracking. So it has eye tracked foveated rendering. It has haptics, adaptive triggers, and then headset rumble. 4 things. On top of this, it gives you the option for 2 different types of modes you can play in.
You're talking about 90 native and 120 reprojected?
Performance and resolution mode.
Yeah, and they gives you this option on the Pro and on the OG PS5, and so, like, it's not something you have to have, the Pro for. And regardless of whether listen, it looks fucking amazing no matter what mode you're playing on or what console you're playing on, right? I tested this extensively on both systems in both modes, right? And I will tell you that the reprojection in this is not nearly as bad as what I've seen in other games. I don't know what it is, but it looks very clean, and it does give you that, that more of a sense of being there because of that, the push and resolution. And so if you don't mind a little reprojection, you're gonna absolutely love the way this looks. However, the 90 native mode runs flawlessly. Like, it is just silky smooth, and after a few seconds, you're not going to notice like any drop in texture quality or resolution or anything like that. Like, somehow they really did satisfy everybody. They made this game look absolutely beautiful, and you're going to see right here that like where I'm climbing up the side of this building with my picks, and we'll talk more about climbing in a second too. You look out from you climb and you just look out, and like it's some of the most beautiful like vistas, landscapes that you've seen in a VR game. Like, that they've really just nailed the look of this thing. And it's just very technically impressive, right? The fact that they're able to do this from, so basically four different builds, right? Four different presets, I should say.
Yeah, and I played on 90 native mode the entire game, and it looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did try the reprojection mode for just a little bit, and I was like, nah. Like, I don't notice a difference in the resolution, and I'm seeing the ghosting, and I was like, nah, I don't want this. But it even tells you, it says recommended, like for the 90 native mode, because it's just from a technical perspective, like, or from a technical way, like, it is just way more enjoyable, and you get way better image clarity, and yeah, it's 90 native is really the way that all games should be.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless Sony fucking fixes their reprojection system, because again, on PSVR1, most games were running 60 reprojected to 120. We never noticed. We never talked about that. Because it wasn't something we noticed. So Sony's gonna fucking fix their shit, man. And just having that one other option on the Pro doesn't count as fixing it. It's a good step.
And if you use a Pro, you get another 15% increase in resolution.
Secret Stuff says, "Is this the closest we'll get to having the look of Stormland on PSVR2?" Yes, unless we get Stormland on PSVR2. Still,
I have Stormland. I haven't played it yet. But that will come at a time where these releases slow down a little bit. But I've got all of that. What's that thing called? It's some app that lets you play PSVR or Oculus Store games on Steam or whatever. But anyways, I forgot to mention the PS5 Pro. It actually has a 15% increase in resolution for the 90 native mode, and then a 25% increase in resolution for the 60 to 120 reprojected mode.
Yep. Listen, if anybody plays this and they're like, this isn't a very good looking game, then like nothing's gonna satisfy you,
dude.
Right? It looks great. It looks great, and especially for a game that's like mostly outdoors. You don't see a lot of that in VR. You see, we played Metro and we were all underground. We played Alien and we were in a space station the entire time. Very enclosed areas to make sure there's no performance issues. Vitruvius was like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna let you go around and climb these massive areas and look way out into the distance." And no frame hitches. Don't worry. It was like fucking craziness. It is a Vitruvius game though, and I will say right off the bat, I was like, man, this kind of feels like a Vitruvius game. Like, to the extent I'm like, if no one told me who made it and I didn't see that cool ass logo at the beginning, I would have been like, yeah, this is Shadow Legend again. And that was my feeling right away, right? Because like you're in these smaller areas, and you go and there's a couple enemies to take out, right? And then you take out the couple enemies, and then it's a big scavenger hunt. And if you didn't play Shadow Legend, you should have. You missed it. But that's what Shadow Legend was. It was kind of like this. It was like this medieval fantasy action game, but that was all just a guise, because it really was a scavenger hunt game. Like, after you cleared out an area, you just spend 30 minutes looking around trying to find all these runes and shoot them down with a bow and arrow from across the arena or whatever, and find them. And you're doing the exact same thing here. And I think that the scavenger hunt stuff was the appeal of Shadow Legend more than anything else. I mean, there was the VREF elements and a little bit of combat and cool climbing and stuff. But if you weren't interested in the scavenger hunt stuff, there wasn't a lot for you, right? You were going to be disappointed by so much of the game. And I was like, oh, here it is. We're just doing Shadow Legend again. It's the scavenger hunt. Here it is. But the crazy thing is that they took all of the things that were like, okay in Shadow Legend, and they amped them up to 11, right? Like they've really made this feel like a full-fledged game and said, hey, everything that you might not have liked in our last game, we made sure that you're going to like in this game. And I don't know. Where do you want to start, AJ? There's a lot of different things to talk about. You can talk about combat or just maneuvering around the world. What do you want to talk about?
So I'm just gonna kind of give my raw thoughts. Also, a lot of people are saying I'm really loud. I don't know. It's probably just me. But
here, I'll take care of you.
I could try to turn it down a little too.
No.
I'm gonna give my raw thoughts on when I was first playing this game, and I you know, it might not make sense. It's gonna be weird and silly, but these are just my actual thoughts from when I was first playing this game. Okay. So, like, yeah, I mean, they start you out in the training area, and there's a bit of a learning curve at first. Like it's nothing difficult. It's just they throw you right in the middle of so much going on, and you're just like, what, like what? Who is this? Like, holy crap! Like you're huge, and like, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm supposed to go do what? Like, what? And like, it's a lot. There's a lot of lore and a lot of stuff going on that's just like, holy shit! Like. But
I mean, the tutorial is basically a giant wheel with logos all around it, and you just go 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You're just going from one to another, and it's just teaching you all of this shit all at once. And even the arena that you're in, like, you know, once you're done with the tutorial, there's like some dude sitting over in the corner, like holding money with like a green VR headset on, and you're like, what's this dude? And like, you can either like destroy the headset, or you can take the money, and it's like, wait a minute, like I can't remember. Did the game tell me what I was doing when I encountered these guys? Right? Because it's, again, they throw so much at you that like I didn't really understand everything I was doing in this game until like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours in, maybe, even though they teach it all to you in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's very, it seems very not, I don't want to say daunting, but it seems like imposing at first, because there's so much going on. There's a lot that you have to kind of learn to get started. And yeah, like even like the enemies that you start in the training facility, and they give you these absolute shite weapons to start with, which they're basically just teaching you like how to use the different modding stations and like what, you know, how to get started. But yeah, like all that I could think was like, okay, so they tell you like what you're supposed to be doing, like who you are, and you press the elevator button down, and you're going down, and you can get kind of a peek of like what outside looks like, and you're like, whoa, okay, like this already like is looking really, really good. Yeah, it obviously the beginning of the game, like it teaches you the first things, but you know what's weird? One of my first thoughts I had playing this game, this is legitimate, like first thought that I had. Like I said, it's gonna be weird, not gonna make sense, but I was like, this is the best thing I've played since Mega Man. This was my first thought.
I mean, since the first Mega Man?
This is the coolest thing I've played since Mega Man. Like this is the most Mega Man ass shit that I feel like, because it's just like, it's just doing its own thing, and it's got the style to it, this music, this look to it. It's colorful. You know, that's the thing too. Like, this is a sci-fi fantasy mixture. A lot of sci-fi can be like, you know, gray or brown or dark, and like, no, it's like, this is colorful as shit. And then it's got the fantasy element that also adds to that, gives it some, you know, some extra color, some pizzazz. And then on top of it, because of its technical specs that it's running at such a, you know, high resolution, 90 frames per second, it's also beautiful with a wonderful original art style.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. The sci-fi fantasy stuff is like, it's very overwhelming at first in terms of like the story. I remember I was like a few hours into the game, and I was talking to Blake over at Vitruvius, and I was like, "Can you send me like a summary of what I've played so far, story wise?" I'm like, I know I'm being lazy. I was like, but if you've got a design document with a story on it, please copy and paste some for me. And he copied and pasted for me, and I read through it, and I was like, I still don't know. Still don't know what the story is. But I remember AJ, you said at one point, I don't know what's going on, but but it's fucking cool. And I was like, that is, and that was early on. So I'm sure that, you know, you acclimated to what was going on, and you learned about the story and everything. But that perfectly encapsulates my thoughts on it. Was that like, I was like, I have no idea what's going on in this world, but it is fucking cool. Very happy that I'm here. So. Which is okay. I think it's okay. Like sometimes you're a visitor to a world, but it makes a little less sense in this in this game because, you know, you're supposed to be this native of the world and really have already known this information. But like, you know, I almost feel like they should have like made us a stranger to the world and be like, we brought you in and said, hey, we need you. And like, Bryan.
Yeah, you're not. Well, they do say that in the first like 5 seconds. Like you're actually not a native of the world. You were created by the thing in the beginning in order to help. Yes, the celestial custodian is. Okay. This is like in the Steam page description. This isn't spoilers, by the way.
I absorbed more during that, and I was like, I wish it was like this, and then they're like, Bryan, that is it. That's exactly it.
You look like some of the inhabitants there, but dude, this game, like I said, it's got so much lore, and really. It's part of the game that you discover and uncover these answers because it intentionally is like, what the hell's going on at first? It kind of is like that on purpose, and it doesn't even care. It's like, no, this, like, you're forced into the middle of this conflict and we need your help, and you know, we brought you here, and like, this is your mission, go do it. And so like it's intentionally like that by design.
Dude, I we gotta talk about the combat a little bit here because like I am so impressed by what they did. Again, going back to Shadow Legend and being like, okay, I remember when Shadow Legend first came out, and you know, I remember like some of the stuff they had to like, you know, turn into slow motion. I don't know if like remember like Shadow Legend combat being kind of slow motion, right? And being like, oh, so you can parry at the right time, and then you can attack when there's an opening, but it all felt like it was slow motion designed to make sure that you could do it. And so it felt, you know, this is early VR days, and it was like they were, you know, people were finding their way and figuring out what worked in VR and what didn't. And it's like we've come such a long way since then. And I was like, this was the thing I was most concerned about. I was like, I don't think like Shadow Legend feels like a game that felt dated very quickly. You go back to it, and then you're like, wow, the combat in this was actually really bad, even though we loved it at the time. And so I was like, combat in VR has gotten so good over the last 5 years. Like, there's no way they're going to be able to compete with, you know, Legendary Tales and whatever other games are, you know, we look to and say, man, they've got great combat. And I've got to say, man, that I think they've exceeded every hope that I had for the combat. I think that the combat in Arken Age is better. And I'll explain better in a second, but better than Behemoth and better than Legendary Tales. And what I mean by that is that I know, right? It doesn't have the loot system that Legendary Tales had, but I do think the combat is way more fun, and that's why it's better for me. Like the light weapons, the heavy weapons, the melee weapons, they all feel really good to use, and it allows for so much creativity, meaning that like simple things like, oh, if they throw a grenade at you, you can catch it in midair and throw it back at them and blow them up, right? But if like a sniper tries to take a shot at you, you can hold up your shield and reflect the shot back at them. And it's like these little things where like the more you try and the more you realize that Vitruvius made sure if you tried something, there would be a result, like a positive result. The more you're like, wow, they've kind of thought of everything, and it makes combat so much fun, being able to chop dudes' heads off, arms and legs, and more so than other games, you can chop these appendages off, and then keep them, right, and then sell them for scrap later on. And it's just like, what? You can take a dude's head and keep it. You can take arms that you chopped off. I was like, that's fucking cool, man. And the physics system isn't, it's there, but it's not like overwhelming, right? Sometimes games feel too physicsy. Sometimes weapons feel too heavy, and I just found, I feel like they struck this perfect balance to deliver like an arcade experience, but something that also gives you a lot of flexibility and has that little bit sense of realism in there too.
Yeah, I agree that they nailed the fun factor. Like at the end of the day, I don't think it's perfect. I don't know if I'd say it's better than Legendary Tales. Um yes, maybe over Behemoth, definitely. Legendary Tales is tricky though because they're a little bit different. That
Yep.
doesn't have any guns in it. Like I don't think Legendary Tales is the best game to compare to it. Um I mean, I guess Behemoth doesn't have guns either, but anyways, the man, they like I said, how it feels is extremely fun. It's also like I said before, it feels very imposing at first. Like the enemies feel very imposing at first because like you said, they don't just like slowly walk up to you and give like slowly swing at you so it gives you time to like go, oh, I got a block here, oh, I got a block to the right. No, these dudes come out charging you, shooting you. Like they come out charging and then shooting and like yeah, like different weapons, different things. They're very aggressive and they're very fast at first. And then once they get close to you, then they pull out their sword and shield and you can start like battling it with the things. And yeah, I love the robot dismemberment. I mean, you can chop them in half. They also have like a little bit like some of them I think like have like a little bit layer of like armor or shield where you have to break down the armor similar to Behemoth. Um, but yeah, you can like you get the right strike, you can impale them through the chest, you can cut off their head, you can cut them in half, cut off their legs, and then yeah, that is it. I don't think it's perfect. I think it's a little chaotic and can be a little messy sometimes, but I think that's also kind of what makes it fun. Like you said, where like it makes it fun and it also makes it feel less scripted
Mhm.
and it also allows for more results that can happen. And for that reason, it's really really cool. There's a lot of freedom to the combat, and that's what I think its biggest strength is there's a lot of freedom and you're using both melee weapons as well as guns in
Yeah,
that situation.
yeah, I want to add to that. Games, there are games like Bulletstorm out there that people were so mad at me that I played it the wrong way, right? Which is ridiculous. It's like it's a game, and like if they let you play it a certain way, then you can play it that way. But it's a game like Bulletstorm rewards you for doing stuff that I was doing in Arken Age, and Arken Age never makes you do it, right? But Arken Age is so rewarding when you do it, right? Bulletstorm didn't give you those rewards, and so like it made me go, gee, I wonder what else I can do, right? It actually made me feel like I wanted to get creative. I've gotten comments from some kid who was like very unhappy with the way that I play Behemoth. He's like, anybody hate how boring this guy is when he swings the sword? I was like, you know what? It's because I'm fucking 45 years old, kid. I'm tired. All right, I don't want to jump up and down. But you know what? I thought of that little kid when I was playing this game, and I was like, I'll show
You're like
you.
you're like
Yeah,
going
I
crazy.
totally. I was like, I'll show you, and I really did. I got creative. Like the number of times I like jumped off of a of a building and tried to like slice a dude from a great height. To answer Mark
Epic.
Poppin Pringles Leaf question, he says, "Is there fall damage?" There's not, which is so cool because when you get sometimes you're going from place to place and you do just have to jump off of a ledge and fall 100 feet, and that
Yeah.
looks really cool, feels really cool, and then when you hit the ground, headset haptics. And like,
Yeah.
again, this is the kind of stuff that when you go to play Quest game after this, or you go to play a game that didn't fully utilize PSVR2's functionality, then that's when you start going, man, like it's not the same, right? It's not the same as when you play a game from a developer who took the time and made the effort in order to include adaptive triggers and VRAF mechanics and headset haptics and all these little things that we look for. it's not the same. Like something feels like it's missing, right? And that's when you start realizing that this generation of VR, yeah, it has something to do with graphics, right? We're all loving how the PS5 makes our PSVR2 games look, but it's also about, you know, immersion being something that you can actually feel in your hands and or in your head when it rumbles. So these are things that I think Vitruvius absolutely fucking nailed, to be honest with you.
Yeah. There's no fall damage. Also, you can breathe underwater. Like, or like there's no air. You got to
No
come up
oxygen
for
meter.
air or anything. Yeah, no
Dun, dun,
oxygen
dun, dun,
meter,
dun, 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 dun.
anything
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, you can jump from the highest of heights and you can swim for as long as you want underwater. But yeah, man, you know, that's a good point. Like that's one of the most impressive things about my first impressions of this game, Brian, is that it's so polished. Like
Yeah.
there's no bugs. Like I mean, I'm sure you can find a bug somewhere, but like it is hard. It is hard to find a bug in this one. It looks so polished. I've never seen a game by two developers that looks and feels this polished, and especially at launch with how many games we got that have these game breaking bugs like randomly, or you know, have all these technical issues, bugs that pop up a bunch. Now, like I said, I can't promise that's not going to happen because, but I like it is insanely super polished in every single way possible, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, we're doing the best we can here by telling you as much as we can about the first, you know, few areas and our first impressions and how it all looks and feels. But we can't talk about like the rest of the game. Like it's basically the first three areas or so.
Yeah, first three areas look beautiful. Didn't experience any bugs, so hopefully that's a sign of things to come.
Right, right. As I begin my third playthrough. No, no. Red Rover the effing Gamecat with a $2 tip says, if forced to make a choice, this game or Alien. Now remember,
I don't think we can say that yet.
I am telling you this based on only my first impressions of Arken Age. Arken Age.
Yeah, based on first impressions, Arken Age. You know why? Because truthfully, this is another thought that I had from my first impressions. Swear to God. Besides, hey, this kind of is the coolest thing I've played since Mega Man, and kind of has this like Halo vibe of like originality and stuff. I was blown away by my first impressions of this game. Blown away is how I would describe my overall first impressions of Arken Age.
Yeah. I mean, me too. And you know, for the list of complaints I had about like the visuals in Alien, right? Like again, like these really contained, enclosed areas. And I was just like, why does this game always feel like it's almost falling apart, right? Like why couldn't they get this thing up and running at 90 native? These are all things that just are not a non-issue in Arken Age. It's one of the most beautiful games you're going to play. Definitely very polished, and you know, it's got a great progression system so far. It's got, you know, it's got a lot of variety when it comes to the weapons so far, and I don't know, man. It's just it's been a whole lot of fun, and I love that it gives you reasons to explore. I give who says who. Demo the Down Under Gamecat says, and it's not horror. I actually saw over on Reddit, people were very, very happy that we got a nice polished game coming to PSVR2. That's not horror, because not everybody is could live and breathe horror 24/7 like I do. So I'm very, very happy that people are getting what they're looking for here, AJ.
It definitely feels very fresh. Like it's very, that's one thing I'm like so like excited about this game is, yeah, like it's just like the look of it. Like I said, it's not based off a popular IP, which don't get me wrong, like I love those, but I'm talking about even in its design and everything. You know, like Behemoth is not a popular IP, but Behemoth is like, you know, there's some familiarity there. This game is like, I don't know, it feels like there's nothing like it, which is great, but it's also important for it to be good. And so far, it is original, but it's also like, whoa, like this seems like, you know, really special so far.
Yeah. A. O'Brien says, why is everything green, though? Doesn't look like there's color variety in the environments. Yeah, tell Servios that. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. So tired of metal walls by hour 10. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is all about first impressions. You can extract what you can from the trailer that I'm showing here and see if there's any variety. But, unfortunately, we do have to draw the line somewhere and not talk about the length of the game, as I saw people asking, or anything else that goes beyond the first couple of hours at most.
You will know soon. You will know very, very soon.
This is off topic, but we're gonna go off topic for a second. Wally is now Gamecast, specifically White Tiger with the Canadian $2 tip says, is the Greg Miller Gamescast still happening? Boy, that's a blast from the past. He and I were talking back and forth for like a long time, and but I mean, I don't think he's had any experience with PSVR2 in the last year or two or whatever it's been since we were trying to set that up. So
kind of fun. He's dead to me now. They had their chance. They blew it all because Blessing got a bunch of heat for not knowing how to pick up the controller.
Oh my God. Yeah. Also, I guess I didn't see it, but Colin Moriarty apparently gave Without Parole a shout out and said that he's going to get me back on the show. So nice. whenever they choose to hit me up, I will likely be appearing on Last Stand again.
I listened to that for a long time, and that guy just dropped off. I haven't talked to it for a long time.
What, Last Stand?
Yeah, I haven't listened to it for a long time now.
Yeah, same.
But I went on I was listening to like every week for a while. But anyways, yeah, none of these people really talk about PSVR 2, so I don't care.
Yeah, it is a problem. So I don't mind going over and if it's Dustin or Colin, like educating them if these are people that like want to know more, like, hey, we haven't played PSVR 2 in like a year, like what should we be playing or whatever. I'm more than happy to go and spread the good word of PlayStation VR 2. But I don't know. I felt like the Greg Miller thing was going to be more of like a confrontational thing, where I was going to be like, Greg, and shake him by the neck like he did to me. I have photographic proof of it. This is an inside joke. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's get back to Arken Age. What are you forgetting about here?
I don't know.
I mean, a lot of stuff.
I think I think we could go on about it forever, but I don't know. Final thoughts on first impressions?
I just want to get one more thing out there, and that's that if you guys have ever seen the Shadow Legend episode of Why We Love PSVR, that's when Jeremy King first coined the phrase virtual reality as fuck. Right? That's the first time anybody ever said VRAF in their entire life. and so it was Shadow Legend that coined the phrase. And so we're very, very interested to see if they were going to double down on that, if they were just going to, continue as they were. And I really do feel like, man, like there is a feeling, right? When you want to access those climbing picks and you just go, boom, that's all. Your hands are out, you boom, it's this tiny little boom motion, right? You can overdo it and you can fuck it up and be like, boom, and it doesn't happen, right? But all it is these simple little wrist motions without pushing a single button. You go, boom, and then your ice picks or climbing picks are right there, and then you pull the grips and boom, boom, boom. You're climbing, and they've nailed the climbing, man. I'll say that, like in the sense that like you're never climbing for too long, but if there's something to climb, you should probably climb it and see what's over there. Right. Yeah. It's like this constant reason to explore. And it also gave me this reason, like every single time I entered a new environment, usually you're like looking around, and in Arken Age, I'm always looking up, being like, what's up there and how do I get up there? Right. It's a completely different feeling that, again, I hadn't felt since Shadow Legend. So I'm glad they were able to recapture that. And everything you do in this is VRAF, but it doesn't get intrusive. Right. I thought making like the syringes out of like the fruit was going to get too much. But now it's like, you've seen it in the trailer 100 times, like you do boom, 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 right? But you only do it once, and it converts all of your fruit into syringes. And it's like, so it's very, they let you do the thing, and it's fun, but they don't make you do it 1,000 times, which is very cool. So I think VRAF defines Arken Age as well.
There's only one VR, like not so VRAF thing I find about this game.
The button.
What?
the button presses for the items.
The items,
Yeah.
yeah, because you press a button to bring up the items and they float in front of you and you grab them. And I was surprised because, yeah, this is, you know, like you said, this is Vitruvius VR. They made Shadow Legend. This game is literally known for like every last bit of nook and cranny being VRAF, every last little detail. This game seems to have vastly improved the game elements so far. I think that's, to me, it almost seems like that's been the big focus, is like, hey, let's take Shadow Legend, and instead of, you know, making you go out of your way so you can feed a horse a carrot, which is like one of the more memorable things about that game, it's like, no, let's just focus on making a you know, a bigger, better game here. And you know, I do feel like there's less, so like, you know, there's been like some less things of like, hey, go out of your way just to do something that's cool in VR. And it's like, no, let's just make a better game overall so far. And it seems like, and yeah, it doesn't take long to kind of like see that. Especially you get to like the third area and you're like, oh, like this is like fun. This is like a lot more fun to play and really cool. But yeah, the items are the only like non-VRAF thing. Which I was surprised, because I was like, oh, like, yeah, like I'd rather grab a shield from behind my back, lower back, and you know, like grab it like that, or have like a, you know, the health syringe like on my arm, grab it from my arm and stab myself. I think the option would be nice, which maybe that's something they could do later, or might do later, who knows. But that's like my only one little non-VRF surprise that I was like, interesting.
Yeah. And I'm with you. There's just, there was like so much stuff. I think when you push the item button on your left hand, like what shows up, like a shield, a grenade, and
there's other stuff.
Yeah, like lots of stuff show up, and so it's like, you know, having places for all of those things on your body to grab whenever you want to. I was like, I could see how that could be overwhelming, and you could end up grabbing the wrong thing. But at the same time, when you push the item button and all these things pop up, you could also easily grab the wrong thing. So yeah, it's a kind of lose-lose situation. But cool. All right, yeah. Closing thoughts on this. What are you thinking?
Closing thoughts, like I said, I'm just going to go with what my original first impressions thought was, which was like, I am blown away so far. Super impressive graphically, gameplay. I love how original it is. Like that it just like so cool to me. It's something just brand new that I've never, it feels new and fresh. And I love that about it. And yeah, totally blown away by the beginning. To the point where I'm like, okay, in the list of, you know, all the greatest PSVR2 games I've played, like, is this going to end up making it up there very, very high? I'm curious to find out.
Yeah, it's always fun when I'm playing a game and I'm like, oh man, like I wonder what the review score is going to be. And like I just have like this, you know, this number up in my head, like, and it changes as I play, and sometimes it goes up and sometimes it goes down, and sometimes I'm drastically like way off with my impressions. But dude, I will say that you're gonna jump into this game and you're just gonna be really impressed. And I think everyone is gonna ask the same question, and that's, how come no one else has figured out how to do this properly? Right? It's like so many other developers either overthink things or underthink things, or just don't deliver on like these basic fucking issues. You know, and again, starting all the way back from the beginning of this conversation, when we started talking about, like, you know, 120 reprojected or 90 native, giving you the option to play how you want. How come this little 2-person team that evolved into a 4-person team is able to do these things when bigger studios of 100 people are not able to deliver the same shit?
Because they spend 4 years negotiating making the game, Brian. First,
I get it.
Before, you know, they have to do a lot of, you know, they gotta figure out how to operate their facilities first, instead of just fucking working on the game. And that's what these guys seem like they've been doing. So Yeah, there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of changes that can occur with big companies, making games. This is like, no, like this is just seems like, just let's just make a game and do all the things we can.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So, very much looking forward to everyone being able to play this. Is it this Thursday? Also, I don't know when the review embargo is. I saw people asking. I don't know if that's public or not, but I believe it is. It's before launch, right? So,
I don't know. I think it's right around launch.
Yeah, it is right around launch. I just don't remember specifically when it is. Twitcher says, is the dev interview dropping on release day, Brian? I'm guessing it's under the same embargo that review is. It's not. Actually, what Blake and I discussed or decided on that was that the developer interview embargo would be the same day as the first impression embargo. And no offense to Blake, I think this was all me. I was getting very sick around the time that I did the interview with Blake, and I think the interview went horribly. I think it's a fucking disaster of an interview, right? We dance around topics a lot. We talk about the same things a lot. Neither one of us has any idea where the conversation is going, and so we end up like just bouncing around. And I remember I apologized to him so many times because like my brain just wasn't functioning. I don't know if you will ever see that interview, and that sucks because I hate wasting Blake's time and I hate wasting my time. So yeah, $40 to whoever's asking. It's $40 game. So stay tuned. I'll have
Will it be worth it? Find out on Thursday, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, difficulty's good. There is I played through on the normal difficulty, but you can play I want to play through the hardest difficulty on the New Game Plus option because
there's New Game Plus mode.
Yeah, not enough games have feature New Game Plus, and this one does. Again, these guys are just giving you everything that you're looking for, and I was very, very excited to be like, okay, I want to raise the difficulty, but only on New Game Plus, and that is something I'm working my way through now. So we'll talk more about it on Thursday. God, I hope I can get this review out on time because I'm still not over being sick. I'm definitely just going right back to bed after this. But I'm glad you guys pulled me out of bed so that we could hang out and shoot the shit and talk about Arken Age a little bit. It's a lot of fun. And hopefully this is the end of me being sick. The last 5 days were fucking brutal. All right, AJ, let's do a little 4-minute challenge and we'll get the fuck out of here. Sound good?
Sounds good for you, bad for me.
Yeah, well, that's how it generally goes. So I'm going to put 4 minutes up on the clock, guys. Make sure that you help him out. Excuse me. Make sure you help him out. It's never easy. I picked the PSVR1 or PSVR2 game. He's only got 4 minutes and an infinite number of yes or no questions. Figure out what game it might be. Give him suggestions in the chat. Give him good questions and responses based on what you hear. On your mark. Get those. Go.
Is it on PSVR 2?
I actually forgot what game I picked. Hold on a second. It's here somewhere. God.
You are AJing the fuck out of this already.
Yeah. Actually, I was kind of joking, but where the fuck is it? Oh my God,
dude. Can we restart? This is bullshit, y'all.
No, we are restarting.
Cheating ass. He is cheating.
No, we're restarting. This is the most I've ever AJ'd the fuck out of anything. Dude, I had a tab open and then during the show I accidentally closed a few other tabs, and now I literally don't remember what the game was. I was like, I'll just leave this tab open and it'll be fine. Wow, wonderful. It's here somewhere. I promise you, it's here somewhere. Hold on. I think it was it on this page? I think it was on this page. AJ, this has turned into a disaster. Can I just go home? This isn't going well.
You okay over there?
No. And I'm never going to be okay again. All right. Yeah.
Roy Martini says, he's sick. Give him a break.
No, dude, they don't give me a break for being sick. That's not how this works. Dude, oh my God. If the Arken Age review isn't done on time, I'm just going to fucking call it quits on this whole endeavor, man, and go back to
it'll motivate you to know that I finished my script last night.
Oh yeah. Okay, I use your script for my review. That'll save me a step.
No, you know why? Because it took me all goddamn day to write that damn script, and I was like, "Why do I do this?"
Yeah, right? Why do you do this?
Because I love VR, Brian.
Excellent.
And
all right, I'm gonna start the time over again. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Are you ready?
Here you go. It started.
Is it on PSVR2?
No.
Fuck. Does it use Move controllers?
Yes.
Does it use DualShock?
I'm checking. No, it does not.
Does it use aim controller?
No.
Does it use 3D rudder?
No, not
Moves only. I always want to get asked that because it again narrows it down to like 4 games. Is it a puzzle game?
No.
No. Is it single player only?
Yes.
Is there full locomotion?
Technically, yeah.
Is there melee combat?
There is combat. I don't remember if it's melee. I don't remember melee combat. I don't think it's melee combat.
Can you feed a horse?
No, you can't feed a horse.
Are there vehicles in it?
No.
Is it fantasy?
I mean, yeah.
Technically.
Technically.
Is it like Frodo Baggins fantasy?
No, it's not Frodo Baggins fantasy.
Is it a real-time strategy? I like that question.
I think there are RTS elements in it.
Is it turn-based?
No. Oh man, this is you get into the weeds here on technicalities. I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. I don't.
We're
know
wasting my time then.
Okay, I don't think RTS is the best description for it.
Okay. Does it use HOTUS?
No.
Does it use a wheel?
No. Moves only.
Moves only. Sorry, I couldn't ask that last one, Staff and Stam. Is it first person? Oh my God, you are so aging.
Sure, it's first person. See how it feels?
Is there third person elements to it?
Yes, there's lots of third person elements.
See, VR games are hard to describe.
Yeah.
You said there's third person elements to it?
Yeah.
Okay, you use the moves. There's third person elements to it. So you play as something, but you interact with something on the table. How much time do I have left?
A minute and 30 seconds.
Is it pirate themed?
No.
You said it's not. Is it? You said it's not turn based.
It's not turn based.
Are you playing on a table?
No.
No. Is it a strategy game?
Again, you said RTS, and it's like, oh yeah,
is
there's strategy to it.
Is there like building? Is it like the world building kind of like stuff?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. There's world building stuff. You said it's not fantasy.
Not in a Frodo Baggins way, no.
So it's like, do you manage like a town of people? You manage a town of people. I need games, guys. I need games of towns of people. Hurry, quick! There's not much time. Is it sci-fi? Ooh,
no.
Are there dinosaurs?
Yes.
Is it Dino Frontier?
Oh my God, AJ, I was so worried you weren't going to get this. Coming out, man, I am so all over the place. Coming out 7/31/2017. I don't know, is it July 31st? From Uber Entertainment. It is indeed the dinosaur farming game, Dino Frontier.
Let's go. Teamwork, make the dream work, y'all. Hell yeah.
Congrats to Looper. I wasn't keeping an eye on the chat, but Looper, I did see Looper get it fairly early.
I've only played the demo of that game.
What?
Never played. Yeah, because it was like $30 and it was like an hour long, is what everybody told me.
Oh, yeah, it was a few hours long.
It's literally like one or two. Well, I've technically played it because I played the demo, but yeah, I could not bring myself to buy it for like $30
or something like. Yeah, it was crazy expensive for what it was.
It was really expensive, and it was like 2 hours long. I just couldn't bring myself to do it, but I did play the demo, and I did kind of like it.
I thought it was really, really good. Super polished. It was awesome, and like However, it felt very linear, and I think the thing is, if you guys don't know, this is this is Outer Loop games before they became Outer Loop. This is before.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when you said the name. I was like, oh, I
Ake.
thought it was his. Yeah.
Yeah, it was his studio that kind of broke free and then created Falcon Age, I believe, after this on their own. So yeah, but really good stuff. Very very charming, and I wish it went on sale. Nick in the chat is saying that's never been on sale. But this game was like $15. I'd be like, oh, you guys gotta fucking check this shit out. So, all right. Oh shit! Hold on a second. We're not.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
I think it was just the worst of times. Scott, the PSVR Gamecat for life with the 10 quid says, so I booked off the week for PAX East from work. And I just got to try and save enough money so I can actually come to Boston and meet all the Gamecats and Miles and Wes, AJ, and of course, Brian Paul. Dude, this is Scott, PSVR Gamecat for life with 10 quid. Means he is writing to us from the UK. Means we've gotten people traveling from all over the world coming to us for PAX East. So I don't want to hear from anybody saying, oh, I live in Germany, I can't make it. That's my German accent. Did you like that? My German accent. Oh, I live in Germany. It's like pretty much what I've heard on TV.
I told you don't do accents, man. Like,
no, I don't.
You cannot do the accents, yeah. No. Nine.
Oh, no, I cannot do them. You should not do them. So yeah, guys, don't forget. Oh shit, yeah. Did you get your badge? We get it. We'll talk off the air. But yeah, badges are on sale right now for PAX East. Make sure you get them. And of course, if you need hotel information where all the cats are staying at, where I'm staying at, make sure you let me know. And because dude, last year it was so cool. A lot of us stayed in the same hotel, and the people that stayed in the hotel with us were we were just hanging out all the time. It was like I would wake up, stumble down from my room to get a cup of coffee, and there were like 3 cats like sitting there having breakfast, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm just gonna sit here and drink my coffee with you guys.
It was amazing. And get ready for those who are coming. Get ready to have the greatest seafood you've ever had in your life.
Or as we know it around here, seafood.
It's so good.
You just like the clam chowder. I think that's what it was.
Chowder. It's chowder, Brian. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Dude, I ate that fucking clam chowder for breakfast. It was so good.
Yeah, and rightfully so. That's when you should have clam chowder. Random Toxie says, but Brian doesn't even have a Boston accent. What the fuck? Yeah, I know, man. Like my brother and I, we defied it. People all around us. You talk to Jeremy King that fucking grew up 10 minutes down the road from me.
There is definitely a stark difference there, but
right. Like what country did you grow up in?
You sometimes added that imaginary R to things that Bostonians do. So like I hear it sometimes and it drives me nuts. But
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, guys, it's gonna be a whole lot of fun. It's coming up in May, so you got plenty of time to figure shit out between now and then. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. Especially, I'm looking to it way more than I looked forward to it last year. Last year, I was dealing with so much like social anxiety, and I've gotten over a good chunk of that. And so hopefully, I'm going to be a lot happier during the duration. And I'm staying an extra day this time, so I want to make sure that I get there and take it all in.
Nice.
So, but we're going to talk a lot more about that.
I just like to take it all in, Brian.
Not you. He's not talking.
Where's Wes? Wes, yeah. I wish we just had a button that we could just press and he just shows up and goes, my mom.
I mean, I bet I could fucking get that running in OBS, but you want him to show up live. We push a button and he shows up live, right? Like a marionette.
And then he just presses the button that says
yeah. Okay.
I don't.
We needed to end this episode 45 minutes ago.
We really do.
Guys, thank you everybody. We love you all so very much. Appreciate everybody helps this channel run. including the people who do timestamps like Brody and Waleed. You guys are awesome. Rap Hop for getting us up on podcast services of your choice. Thank you, of course, for AJ for being here, guys. So go subscribe to AJ and all my co-hosts. Click the link in the description. Make sure you click the link for Discord as well. Come hang out. That's where we hang out 24/7. So tired of people being like, "You have a Discord?" It was like, "Have you ever heard of Arken Age?" Like, I mean, it's like we talk about it every single day. Why don't you know about Arken Age in our Discord? These are things that like should be drilled into your head by now. It just proves that nobody's listening, which is fine. We thank you all so much just for being here. Dude, everybody tips, keeps the channel alive. Everyone who supports us on patreon.com/withoutparolegames, everyone who's a member over here, it means so much. But even if you're not supporting us financially, we don't give a fuck, man. We're just happy you're here. It's all about community. So thank you for being here, and thank you for keeping us entertained while we try to keep you entertained. And thank you everybody out there who watches the show, sits back, and doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Oh no, it's Monday.
Cue the motherfucking cat, Hugo, because I want to say see you guys on Wednesday to Steph and stuff. Thank you so much, man. Karina, thank you so much for joining us today. Zach Lightning says King Crab Legs. Oh, y'all are making me hungry now. Don't do this to me. Dan Kiefer says, what if you hit the summon West button while he is on the toilet with a Game Boy?
That's the hope. That's
the best
the
case
dream.
scenario.
That's the dream.
Chaos, thank you so much, my dude, for knowing the drill. Bob Zarkoff, the Underground Game Cat, Elite Name Squad in the house. Silver Nexus says, take care, be merry, and game on Gamecat. Chrome, Colossus, Chrome to the Dome, thank you so much, my friend. Scott, PSVR Game Cat for life. Yeah, we're gonna chowder you good, boy. We're gonna chowder you real good. He was like, what the F is chowder? Or he said chowder because he didn't even know. Oh, just bring us a full English breakfast and we'll make you a trade. Like a drug deal, except it's just food.
or
completely legal.
Or we can just trade drugs. Have a good
Secrets of, thanks so much, man. Roy Martini. Shaken, not stirred. Shut up, Brian. Nick Mulo, the Game Cat. Thanks so much, man. Guyson, fist bump to you. Alejandro D2Y, Underground, Stranger, Game Cat, Elitist, Name Squad in the house. Bambino Ramos, thank you so much, my dude. Look forward to see you again. Mark, Poppin', Pringles, Leaf. Once you pop, the mark don't stop, baby. Hussein X, thank you so much. Senator the Game Tiger, thank you. Says came here late, we'll have to rewind. Just be kind, rewind. Twitcher, the Deuce Juice Game Cat. Thank you so much, my friend. Random Toxie, the Derailed Hype Train Cat has been through too much VR experiences. Melchiah, the Soul Reaving Game Cat. Raziel, TGK2. Thank you so much, man. Says have a great week and roll on the 16th. Yes, may us all roll high on the 16th. Bargosoft, thank you so much, man. A Perky 2 Game Cat, thank you so much. This is a washer. Nah, that's just an old person. I don't know. Limitless Monster, hello. Mark Smith, Elvert in the house tonight. Guys on fist bump to you. Izzard stopping by to get a shameless plug because to promote himself. He's not promoting any products. He's just promoting himself and his Izzard. That's it.
I hope Blake doesn't mind me sharing this, but I earlier in the show I mentioned how horrible the interview went, and I saw a Twitcher in the chat said, Brian, I'm sure the interview was great. It's not as bad as you think. Blake's watching the Gamescast, and he just sent me a DM and said, thank you so much for not posting that interview. So listen, I'm not the only one that doesn't think it went well. So you just got to trust us on this. Maybe we'll give it a week or something when I'm back in full swing. Maybe Blake and I will we'll give it another shot, and we'll have a more fun interview for you, and maybe you get you guys involved. Maybe we can even do it live and have you guys participate, and he can answer your questions in the chat. It'll be a lot more fun that way. So, all right, AJ, thank you so much. I love you guys. I love you, AJ. Good night.